Today I want to tell you a story that happened in the United States Congress in 1856. I am talking about this because there has been a dastardly act of political violence in the USA which has deeply shaken me. I just want to put into perspective that some political beliefs which seem so obvious in hindsight appear to be provocative when they are happening in real time. You would think that slavery is bad. Nobody of sane mind would oppose that thought. But slavery was a politically divisive issue in the United States of America in 1856. And on 22nd May 1856, the world's greatest deliberative body, as the US Senate is often described, became a combat zone. In one of the most dramatic and deeply ominous moments in the history of the United States of America Senate, a member of the House of Representatives entered the Senate chamber and savagely beat a senator into unconsciousness. For those unfamiliar with the American political system, House of Representatives is like the Lok Sabha in the US and the Senate chamber is like the Rajya Sabha in the US. So somebody from the Lok Sabha goes to the Rajya Sabha and beats a Rajya Sabha person into unconsciousness, to borrow the political phrases from Indian democracy. The inspiration for this clash came 3 days earlier when Senator Charles Sumner, a Massachusetts anti-slavery Republican, addressed the Senate on the explosive issue of whether Kansas should be admitted to the Union as a slave state or a free state. Charles Sumner uttered the famous crime against Kansas speech. In his speech, he identified two Democratic senators as the principal culprits in this crime, Stephen Douglas of Illinois and Andrew Butler of South Carolina. He characterized Douglas to his face as a, quote, noisome squat and nameless animal, not a proper model for an American senator, unquote. Andrew Butler, who was not present in the Senate, received more elaborate treatment. Mocking the South Carolina senator's stance as a man of chivalry, the Massachusetts senator charged him with taking, quote, a mistress who, though ugly to others, is always lovely to him, though polluted in the sight of the world, is chaste in his sight. I mean, the harlot slavery. So, Charles Sumner was using slavery as a personification of a mistress. Representative Preston Brooks was Butler's South Carolina kinsman. If he had believed Sumner to be a gentleman, he might have challenged him to a duel. For those who don't know what duel is basically a one-on-one combat between two individuals holding loaded guns. Instead, he chose a light cane of the type used to discipline unruly dogs. Shortly after the Senate had adjourned for the day, Brooks entered the old chamber where he found Sumner busily attaching his postal frank to copies of his quote-unquote crime against Kansas speech. Moving quickly, Brooks slammed his metal-topped cane onto the unsuspecting Sumner's head. As Brooks struck again and again, Sumner rose and lurched blindly about the chamber, futilely attempting to protect himself. After a very long minute, it ended. Bleeding profusely, Sumner was carried away. Brooks walked calmly out of the chamber without being detained by the stunned onlookers. Overnight, both men became heroes in their respective regions. That's the power of political divisiveness. The person who opposed slavery was also a hero to his supporters, and the person who supported slavery at that time was also a hero to his supporters. We are talking, of course, about 1856. Surviving a House censure resolution, Brooks resigned. He was immediately re-elected, however, and soon thereafter he died at the age of 37. Charles Sumner recovered slowly. He returned to the Senate where he remained for another 18 years. United States of America, suffering from the breakdown of reasoned discourse that this event symbolized, tumbled onward toward the catastrophe of civil war. One only hopes that does not happen in the aftermath of the recent surge in political violence in the United States of America. The facts of this story were borrowed from the United States Senate website www.senate.gov. I hope you liked this video.